We left Mission early on Monday morning to get to the Dead and Down claim. To get to the cabin, we went through this property over what may have been a road at one time, more like a trail, driving over small saplings through water and swamp. At Davis Lake, the road improved, ballasted with rock, and was a typical logging road. The road ran alongside the lake and at the far end rose in elevation and ended at the cabin. This is the way in before the road above the lake was built. A retired father and I stayed at the cabin during the week, coming out on Friday afternoon. No electricity or running water. The owner of the Dead and Down claim came up in the morning and left with shakes in the afternoon. This looks like where the old road came up from the lake. Seems to be at the right place. I planned to come here in 2023, but the area was closed because of this fire. This may be the road to the cabin. This area has been logged, and I don't think I'll find the site of the cabin. I wanted to fly a drone to spot the cabin site, but this came along. The helicopter flew in circles, so I abandoned the drone flight. This also happened on Vancouver Island. The drone was in the air when this appeared. I landed the drone. A couple days later, at the Kinsall Trestle, another helicopter appeared. If I believed in conspiracies, well, I'll walk up the road and see if I recognize anything. I can still hear the helicopter flying. We used two saws, a Pioneer and a McCulloch. The McCulloch had more power. And if you weren't careful when starting it, you ended up with a sore hand. No decompression, no chain brake, no leg protection, and no face shield or hearing protection. What a way to start in the forest industry. Never operated a chainsaw, didn't know how to file the chain or make any adjustments on the saw. Great times. The owner of the Dead and Down claim came up in the morning and left with shakes in the afternoon. He fell the snags and we bucked them and the windfalls into 24-inch blocks. No power saw work after the owner left, as we had no transportation or communication. A horse and a stone boat were used to haul the shakes to the road so they could be loaded onto the Jeep pickup. The horse stayed in a lean-to shed near the cabin. Hand-split cedar shakes were made with a froe and a mallet and a cedar block. Split a shake off both sides, flip the block, and repeat. This creates a taper in the shake. One summer night, while walking through the forest towards a nearby creek, I met two men in Speedos. What the heck were they doing walking through the bush wearing only Speedos? I'm never going to find the site. After spending 8 or 9 months working in an office in downtown Vancouver, I returned to the shake business. The owner was now salvaging cedar from Millstream's logged areas accessed by the completed road now known as Lost Creek Forest Service Road. This was BC Forest Products wood, and Millstream was the contractor. At first we made blocks and chucked them to the road or sent them down a wire to the road. Wood below the road was a problem, so the owner got a small yarder on a truck with a short steel A-frame. It was only 8 or 9 feet high, basically ground lead. Main line was 7/8 inch. Haulback was 1/2 or 5/8, can't remember for sure. No straw line. Pulled the haulback by hand to set up the logging. I worked on this machine. I wouldn't say I was a hook tender, but I was the only one in the bush. I set up the logging, pulled the haulback out to the blocks, and set the choker. I also bucked the cedar into manageable size for the yarder. One day, we worked close to a Millstream steel spar. I later learned it was a Sparmatic telescoping spar. I said to myself, one day I'm going to work on a big logging site.